Hi, I'm Vanessa. So I just wanted to come and talk a little bit because, I was talking to somebody earlier, and we're kind of like in this point of society. Like you'll hear a lot of people argue or talk about identity politics, but the real because I think what's really at the heart of a lot of things that go on in society is just that everybody's looking for somebody to tell them that you're doing the right thing, or like for example, when LGBTQT people come out to their friends and family and they'll let them know well, this is what I am, you know. And I don't want to downplay the importance of claiming who you are to people because I think that is important as well. I believe that everybody should stand in your truth. Like, whatever your truth is to you, you need to stand in that, okay? Like, um, you know, if you're not living whatever your truth is in here, you have to live that. And if you don't do that, you're never going to feel peace inside. So, for all intents and purposes, on the outside, you can walk around and say all the correct things and you can do all the correct stuff that you think is like everything that you should be saying and doing. But at the end of the day, like you're not going to have peace in your heart and you're not going to feel good. And it's going to make you feel like you're a fraud if you don't be who you really are. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, you do not need anybody's permission or approval to be you. So, whatever you want to be and do, you should do that. With exception of I'm not telling anybody to go be a pedophile or go be a psycho murderer, because I don't think that your personal truth shouldn't involve having to harm another person, be that physically, mentally, or emotionally, right? You know, we shouldn't be seeking to do harm to others. So, uh, you know, but if you're not hurt, whatever your truth is, if it's not hurting anybody else for you to be that way, for you to be yourself, then you should absolutely do that. And you don't need, really, when it comes down to it, you don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need everybody to tell you that it's okay to be you. Because I'm here to tell you that the minute you took your first breath in this world, you know what? You're a human being. If you cut yourself, you'll bleed blood, and you have the right to be yourself. You have the right to be the you that you choose to be, and nobody, I don't care who they are in your life, okay? It can be your mom, your dad, your best friend, your cousin you grew up with all your life. I don't care who this person is to you. None of these people have the right to tell you what you can and cannot do as to who you're going to be. It's always going to be up to you to choose who you want to be. You have this choice because we all have free will, and we've all been given this free will as a gift. So the minute you breathe breath, of course, when you're really young, you're not going to have the autonomy to really always do what you want. But there will come a point in your life where, as you get older, you have more and more autonomy. And you have the right to decide for yourself. And, I realize that people love their parents and they want their parents to be excited, you know, but a lot of our folks grew up in times where things were just a different way, you know, and also some people are more concerned with controlling you than loving you. Not that they don't love you at all, but they're more concerned with controlling you and benefiting from you in whatever way, whatever, if these people put you in a role in their life, they want you to play that role. And when you stand up and say, I'm not going to play this role because I want to go do this other thing for me, you're always going to get pushback. So like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like the fact of your being, like whatever it is that you've told your family you want to be this, you know, you should get, you're good. You should expect pushback. You should expect, like, if they do support it and they love you for it, that's great. But I would never expect that from people, because human beings, since the beginning of this planet, have shown over and over and over in every culture and race known to man that when anybody stands up and does something that's different from everybody else, nobody handles it well. They've never handled it well. Not ever. It doesn't matter what culture you're from. It doesn't matter what time you live down in this planet. Like, human beings have never handled and dealt with things like this correctly, okay? Like, even Socrates in his day, when being a philosopher, was ridiculed and bullied for wanting to talk about philosophy and talk about, well, why do we do this? Why does this matter to us? And asking why, you know, not just going along with it because somebody told us to, or because we were told to like shut up and get with the program, you know? So, like, I just wanted to talk to people because I feel like somebody needs to tell you guys that you don't need permission to be you, and you do not need other people's approval to make choices in your life that are going to make you happy, okay? You can't, those choices should not involve harming other people, because your free will does not involve the right to interfere with somebody else's free will. So the minute your actions and determination have switched to focus to wanting to interfere with this other person's free will, you have now left your free will to also engage in this control and manipulation of other people's free will, the same way that other people were doing it to you. So stop perpetuating these cycles of karmic abuse that people did to you onto other people by doing this in different ways. You know, we have to respect each other's free will. We have to respect, like, if we don't do what you want and you don't like it, nobody said you had to like it. Oh, there's lots of things that have happened in my life that I don't like and I've had to accept, and there's lots of things that happen to everybody. That's part of life. You know what? Some, you know, you only have the right to choose what's going to happen in your own life. You get to choose for you. This is your life and you make the choices for you. And what other choices that other people want to make for their life is up to them. And nobody has the right to come in and tell somebody else how to live your life. And it doesn't matter if you agree with or approve of what other people think. And like, and then people will say, oh, well, what about this? So the dividing line is where it goes from your choice of how you live your life to hurting others. Like, you don't have the right to abuse and hurt other people, you know? None of us have the right to hurt other people. That is not your right. You know, you were you don't. And every time you do that, you know, um Jesus said you reap what you sow, but pretty much every major religion on this planet has some version of that. Most people call it karma, you know, which the energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back. So if you're out here doing wrong to others, you're not going to live a beautiful life, you know. And the more you seek, like, when you manipulate and control other people and force them to be who you want them to be, then it's like, you know, in the end, whatever it is that you were originally seeking is never going to be that. It's always going to be some hollow replica of that, because love that is not given voluntarily will never feel, it will never ever emotionally feel satisfying and meaningful the way that it is when it's given willingly. Okay, so like when it is not okay to manipulate everybody and trick them and do spells on them and do all this stuff to make people, like, to interfere with their free will to make them do what you want. That's not okay. But we also don't need permission from you or from anybody to live our lives and to be our true selves. We have the right to be our true selves. We have the right to speak our truth and to say what we believe and what we think. We don't need anybody else to approve. It doesn't matter. Dude, if I want to think the sky is green and everybody else says no, it's not, so what? Fuck you. Fuck them. Like, if Like, if I want to think it's green, I'm going to think it's green, and I don't care what nobody says. That's not your place to tell me anything. If you don't want to think it is, oh, well, you guys want to be like, oh, she's just crazy. She has a mental illness. Oh, well, whoop-dee. I do have mental illnesses. So what? You know, that's just how it is. I do, in fact, have them. And I mean, if you think that's especially your business, you can like ask me about it or look into it instead of just making rumors, or instead of just doing weirdo stalking to find out about it, instead of just asking me directly, because I'm not trying to hide it. And if anybody asked me, I would tell you that I do, you know. But ain't that the problem too? Like, so many people in society, they want to know everything about us without ever asking us directly or having personal conversations. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to sitting down with somebody face to face, go get lunch or coffee or something, go out for pizza, go out and do this and talk about this and talk about what you think about things or how you feel about things. Like, stop assuming things about people and stop telling everybody that everybody needs to think and act like you, because we're not you. We don't have to think and act like you. We don't have to like all the same stuff you like. Like, if we like the fact that people think that everybody needs to all walk and talk and act like we're all part of the same wolf pack, we're not part of the same tribe. I have a different soul tribe than probably a lot of people that I know in real life, and that's just how it is, you know. And I just want to say this because I think a lot of people need to hear this, you know. Um, should you have human rights? Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? The people that are in power and have all the money, who've been making rules and laws since the beginning of this planet, they will never give or do for people other than what they have to. And right now, we're alive in a time where there's a huge power struggle going on in this country, okay? Or not even just our country, but in every country around the world. And the way that everybody relates with the United States, it's like there's so much going on right now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, okay? So I just want to encourage people, and I'm saying this to everybody out there, like, if you don't feel accepted or you feel like people are pushing back against your truth, don't allow them to take away your voice. Keep speaking out for yourself. Keep saying, this is me and this is who I am. you know don't allow people to use peer pressure or bullying or gang stalking or any of this stuff. If everybody comes and cancels and unsubscribes from your YouTube or your Twitch or whatever, that's the price we pay for telling the truth and not being liars and hypocrites. you know and I just want to encourage people, be your real self, be your true self. Okay, don't be afraid to be your real. Don't be afraid to tap into who you really are, and don't be afraid to share that with the world, because it's nobody's business to tell you who you can be and who you can't be. Okay, and have a good night. Thanks.